everybody, it's me from my chill zone, and I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite when I was in my puberty movies, The Faculty from 1998, directed by Robert Rodriguez, a prolific director, Sin City, Predators, I believe, Dusk Till Dawn TV series, and others, El Mariachi. One of the writers, Kevin Williamson, from Scream, he made the Scream franchise and other franchises, and he got a list of no names, Clea Duvall, Stokely, Jordana Brewster, Delilah, Laura Harris, Mary Beth, Josh Hartnett, Zeke, uh, Sean Hennessy, Stan, Salma Hayek as Nurse Rosa, Famke Janssen as Miss Burke, teacher, Robert Patrick, the T-1000 as Coach Willis, Elijah Wood as Casey, you know, Usher as Gabe, it's one of Stan's football friends, so many people, so many people. The movie basically follows these few people. Stokely is the what they think is bisexual or lesbian. Mary Delilah is the bitch, but she's the she works for the school newspaper. She has Casey Elijah Wood as her photographer, although he is constantly being harassed at school. They're opening his legs and just jamming it into a pole. He has a nosebleed. His balls are hurt. I mean, fuck. The school where they're at, they're constantly fighting with each other. It's a school that it's like a criminal school. Mary Beth is the new girl from the south, and from the far south. She came from the south. She's a farm girl, like she talks like that. Zeke is, Josh Hartnett. He has this little plug of hair out of his hairdo, and he did this movie at the same time he did Halloween H2O, and he has the same hair plug. That's commitment, right? That's commitment. Really cool commitment. He did Halloween H2O and The Faculty at the same fucking time. How cool is that? Stan, he's the quarterback, the popular guy. His friend Gabe is one of the better football players of it. Selma Hayek, it's mostly, Stan, Zeke, Barry Beth, Delilah, Stokely, Casey, and those are the main characters. Now, it begins with Coach Willis. He's an angry motherfucker who coaches his football players into the ground. He wants them to win. And Stan is a little bit out of his mind. He's not there. And Gabe says, "Come on, let's go." And he wants to fight Willis because he says something to him, like badgering him, and he's yelling and cursing, and then you see a shadow coming up on him, and he says, "Yeah, what do you want?" And the scene goes away. Now, here we go to a scene. There's this meeting between the Principal Rake, and a few other teachers, and they want to get something's funded for their class, computer class, things like that. or a trip to New York, but they can't get it. They don't have the money for that. And then they say, one of the teachers says, "But you have money for the football team?" Yes, because this is a football town. Did you ever see Friday night on a football night? You know, when they're having a match, you know, it's packed up. They bring in money. They bring money. So everybody who's playing football gets what they want. And the teachers, of course, are bitter about that. Okay, they go away. She, Drake, Principal Drake meets Coach Willis. This is a creepy scene. Willis is acting weird. He says he needs a pencil, and it's almost like sexual harassment kind of moment. And then eventually she gives him a pencil, and she takes her hand, sticks a pencil in her hand, and he's completely fucked up. He follows her with a whistle in his mouth and blowing the whistle and running after her. It's creepy as fuck. Everything, the school is shut down with chains. It's really creepy, really creepy. Eventually, she gets loose, and one of the teachers that were in the meeting, I think the computer lab teacher, she saves her. She helps her to get out. She has a scissor in her hands to protect herself, and then she looks back, and the teacher of the computer lab takes the scissors and stabs her like 20 fucking times, and smiles at Coach Willis, who's looking from a creek from the door. You know, it, it's a pretty cool scene, an intense scene, a really intense scene. And then we get the song "We Don't Need No Education." You know, that song that's so well done in that moment of the movie, with all people cursing, fighting, weird looking students. You know, Zeke is selling drugs, and it's a real cool movie. It's a real cool movie. Um, so I'm gonna spoil this movie. Now, Casey Elijah Wood finds this little creature thing on the field, on the football field, and at the meantime, the entire teacher's console is being. It's a combination of the human body snatcher, pod people, and aliens with the parasites. Because there's also a queen in this movie. So put the parasites in their ear. They close the door. The, like Nurse Rosa is. They see. I mean, Casey and Delilah are hidden in the closet because they were looking for interesting things for to put in their paper, you know, like scandals. But they see Nurse Rosa coming in with the computer lab teacher and Coach Willis, and they're pinning her down, putting parasite in her ear, and then she comes out clear. She had a no, she had a cold, and she doesn't have a cold anymore. She comes out. I'm normal. What are you talking about, Casey? Like that, and it's just great. It's just great, and they're constant, and then the school has to go on a medical check, and they just one by one go in an office, one by one they're being parasited, and the entire school at some point is parasited, even the town, because during a football game they're giving parasites, you know, so they're putting parasites in people's ears that nobody's watching them, they're not noticing it. So you got a lot of people that are parasited. Cops come in because Casey and Delilah saw it, and they wanted to call the police. And one of the officers goes in with Principal Drake in the office, and he comes back looking weird, and he's parasited. He has a parasite in his fucking head. It's a really cool movie. So you've got this group. and now you have Stokely, Delilah, Maribeth, Zeke, Stan, and Casey, and they want to go to. They try to escape the school, and Zeke has this drugs. Uh, Not know the name, but it's in these pens, and you get put in your nose and sniff it. But it's basically caffeine and cold medicine. That's his secret, thing. Now, caffeine, these parasited people drink a lot of water constantly. You see Coach Willis at some point drinking one cup after the other, and one guy says, man, how much does Willis want to drink? Gotta piss myself seeing him. It's a funny quote. So there's also this scene, where that's just how they learn scat. I think the drugs is called scat that Zeke has. There's a scene where I think the teacher that teaches about anatomy of frogs and things like that. I'm not the biochemist department. I'm not sure what kind of teachers that know about animals and the fauna and flora of the world and the sea, and like I said, Casey found this little thing, and they put it in water, and it becomes this creature, and the teacher wants to touch it to feel what happens, and you see this small jaw opening in a close-up from this creature and biting him, and he's bleeding. But he wants to send it to the university because this can be a Nobel Prize thing. They want to keep it on the down low because this would be their funding money. Now, of course, this teacher is at some point also, let's say, impregnated by this parasite, and they want to go back to the school lab where the creature was, but it's gone. The teacher comes in, says it's gone to the university, but they didn't hear about it, and then he's acting weird, and they know about, and the teacher knows about them, and he keeps Casey on, he throws him away, but at the meanwhile, Delilah and Zeke were making out. Stan is there, Stan, Casey, and Delilah. Stokely, but he doesn't want them to go because he knows they are onto them. And then Zeke comes in and basically help. He takes off this sort of where you cut paper, where you cut paper, you slide in a piece of paper and slash it, this almost look like some machete. He takes it off, and I think he slices a few of the teacher's fingers, and you see the like tentacles coming out, and his fingers are being repaired, and then Zeke puts scat in his eyeball. It's a cool scene, and then he starts to basically evaporate because caffeine is a substance that pushes water out of your body, so they need water to survive. So he dehydrates. He just becomes this mush. So they notice, and of course they go to Zeke's house. They see that everybody is infected at that point. And of course they do this awesome scene where they are testing everybody and taking it, and Maribeth can because she said she was allergic, but then she does take it. So there's something weird about that because if it's allergic, she would die, but she takes it anyway. And lo and behold, Delilah is one of the parasites at this point. She doesn't take it, she throws it away. She destroys his lab where all the scats in, and she runs away. And he only have a few pens left. And they go back to the school. They think it's Coach Willis, who's the king, parasite, or Principal Drake. One of the two. They kill Drake in the same way they killed the others, putting a pen in there. Or no, they have this jar too with the powder, but Maribeth just throws it on Drake, and they don't have anything left and a few pence. Now this, of course, was done purposely by the Maribeth, because it isn't Coach Willis, it wasn't Drake, it was Maribeth all the time. The weird girl, the girl that was new, she is the queen, and she can transform into this gigantic. So yeah, the little pod in the water that becomes this really sharp jaws and these tentacles. She is a really big creature. She's the big version of that. And she can go back to human, then go back to that creature. She said that she came from a planet that was full of water, but that water went away and everything went dry. And she came to Earth in a place that she knew rain falls and you can drink water, and that's the reason why she came. She was the one who infected Coach Willis in the first place. That was the first infected, and it's cool to see she infects Stokely at some point. She tackles Stokely. She falls on the pool, on the ground, on her head on the. It looks like her teeth or blood squirting out of her mouth because she falls with her head first on the fucking hard floor. And I think probably she lost a few teeth in the process. Pulls her in the water. Of course, we see that awesome shot of Stokely seeing like jaws, the jaws of the creature coming at her. I mean, Zeke comes back again, and he's just thrown away by the creature, and Casey eventually managed to put. You have the bleachers, you have the what's it called, bleachers, or the the podiums for people are sitting on, but they can close. So it's following Casey, but he put the button on that it closes and follows it, but it's stuck. Creature is stuck. Then before it can hit in the eyeball with the scat, it spews out like 6, 7 parts in his face, and it's going in his face, which looks, wow, that must hurt. Then he puts the scat in, monster dies. Every person that isn't killed yet, because Famke Janssens even gets her head decapitated at some point, and the head's still crawling about, and her body's crawling about, putting the head back on, so she's alive, and everybody's happy. Then it's a happy end. Casey has Delilah because he had a crush on her, and now he's the cool guy. Stokely is in love with Stan. Stan's in love with Stokely. Zeke is now playing football, and Coach Willis is Coach Willis again, running his foul mouth. But he is in love with Miss Burke, Famke Janssens, the teacher, and everybody's back to normal, except of course the people that died. But who gives a fuck? I mean, It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. It's interesting. It's creepy at the same time. It has action moments, but it's more action creepy and with an extremely creepy beginning, a really tense ending, a creepy, tense, you know, storytelling that you see that everybody's being systematically being from the teachers first to the students, and then of course people like the cops that come and they infect the cop. The cops gonna infect other cops. People around town are already infected. So during the game, the football game, they're infecting people. They don't notice because everybody is cheering for the game. That's so cool. That's so tense, feel creepy. Really good movie. A really enjoyable movie. And it's not a movie that you really have. Okay, I have to. It's like this movie you can lay back and just enjoy it. It's not complicated. It's easy to follow. It's basically school area. That's the setting. Alien girl with parasites in teachers, then in students, then in townspeople. Few people survive. Fights again. Fight goes on. They fight against them. They try to find the main queen or king or whatever, and that's how the story goes, and that's it. Great story, simple but effective story, with some gore, cool characters, good acting, all the way. It gets a 8 out of 10 at least from me. I'm not sure what it is in IMDb, but it gets an 8. I did put I'm gonna put a link from Internet Archives, but it doesn't work on my device. But I've got a really old device, so maybe on newer devices it will work. But I'm gonna put the link nonetheless in there so you can see the movie. I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry for the bathrobe scene. It's just I wanted to have a chill moment here. Sometimes I will change from my man cave to my chill place. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the clip, the review, and give it a like if you want. And see you later. Bye bye.